Hey, what's up? It's your girl Neek, and you're tuned in to Neek at Night. And tonight we're going to be talking about how Diddy has finally been arrested after a grand jury indictment. Now, a lot of people suspected that an arrest was coming. And as much as we felt like an arrest was coming, the lawsuits kept coming, and we find out more and more and more and more and more. And now I'm wondering what all they have on the diddler. Now, if you guys don't remember, or some of you guys been hiding under a rock, he was first raided in March of this year following Cassie's lawsuit. Now, Cassie filed her lawsuit in 2023, and then in March of 2024, his house was raided. Cassie's team had made a statement about it. And then we started to hear more information from other lawsuits detailing stuff that they said went on with the diddler. Now, the latest person to file a lawsuit and talk about this trafficking, these assaults, the abuse, and all of that was Don Richard, who was a bandmate with him in his group Diddy Dirty Money. And she also was a part of Danity Kane. And she said a lot of stuff in there as well. She talked about the Diddy parties. She talked about underage girls being inebriated and so much more. Now, I'm going to read to you guys what the news is reporting about his arrest. And then we're going to get into some of the excerpts from Don's lawsuit where she talks about the Diddy parties and she talks about the goings-ons that's goings-ons. Now, another person that had talked about the goings-ons was a guy named Little Rod. His stuff sounded a little clout chasey to me, so I really don't know what's true, what's not. Pink, they talk about the pink cocoa and all of this stuff, you know what I mean? But there was a lot of legit sounding stuff in the mix of other lawsuits. So we're just going to talk about it all. I am definitely going to open up the floor for you guys to come on in and give your opinion on this. So as soon as y'all see the link, click the link, because once I get done reading some of these things, I'm going to pull y'all up to see what y'all got to say. Now, let's get into it. Remotely, I definitely want to hear from you, boo. So hit that button and come on in and chime in. Let's hear what you got to say about it. And anybody else who wants to come up. So boom, let's get into it. So this right here is the US Attorney's Office, and this is their official Twitter. And this is what they had to say right here. It says, USA Damian Williams says, earlier this evening, federal agents arrested Sean Combs based on a sealed indictment filed by the SDNY. We expect to move to unseal the indictment in the morning, and we'll have more to say at that time. Okay. So in the morning, we're going to get the deets. We're going to get the deets. We're going to get the details. We're going to find out what they got up in there. But for now, let's just read these articles that was written by TMZ and all of that. So right here, if you can see, it says, hold on, let me make it on the screen for y'all. Let me make myself smaller. Okay, boom. All right. So it says Diddy arrested by the feds in New York after grand jury indictment. They got a picture of him and his son. It says Diddy was just arrested and taken into federal custody in New York Monday night, TMZ has learned. Sources tell TMZ Homeland Security swooped into a Midtown hotel late Monday where Diddy was staying, and they arrested him. We have unconfirmed reports the feds are searching his hotel room. We're told Diddy was taken to the FBI field office in Manhattan. And it also says it appears the action was taken in connection with the ongoing criminal investigation into the alleged hanky-panky trafficking and other offenses that led to search warrants being issued and executed at Diddy's home in Beverly Hills and Miami. As we reported, a grand jury has been hearing testimony from various accusers over the last few months. Child, I was not expecting to see that that picture. It says Diddy's attorney, Mark Agnifilo, tells TMZ, "We are disappointed with the decision to pursue what we believe is an unjust prosecution of Mr. Combs by the U.S. Attorney's Office. Sean Diddy Combs is a music icon, self-made entrepreneur, loving family man, and proven philanthropist who has spent the last 30 years building an empire, adoring his children, and working to uplift the Black community." His lawyer also says he is an imperfect person, but is not a criminal. To his credit, Mr. Combs has been nothing but cooperative with this investigation, and he voluntarily relocated to New York last week in anticipation of these charges. Please reserve your judgment until you have all the facts. These are not the acts of an innocent man with nothing to hide, and he looks forward to clearing his name in court. Okay. So then they gave an update. It says a law enforcement source tells TMZ Diddy's arrest was scheduled for Tuesday, but something happened that caused the feds to move in a day earlier. However, U.S. Attorney Damian Williams says federal agents took him in based on a sealed indictment filed by the Southern District of New York. So that is what is written under TMZ, and that is what they are saying. And as I originally read what the Southern District of New York said, Mr. Damien, he said that we gonna get an unsealed document in the morning. Okay, in the morning time, we go get the unsealed doc and find out what it is. Now, let me see if Alfila is ready to come on. Okay, he's not here yet. But what y'all think about it? Somebody said that boy is cooked. Okay. Let's see what else y'all talking about. Hold on, let me make me bigger real quick. Let me post the StreamYard link for anybody who wants to come up. All right, let me highlight some of these comments. Let's go up and see what y'all talking about. Shout out to all of y'all who are in this chat. Baby, it's a lot of goings-ons. That's goings-ons. Silent Butterfly says, I was just talking about this with my spouse. My spouse felt like he wasn't going to get touched because so much time has passed without any arrest. Well, tell your spouse that I'm not sure if your spouse is aware, but remember, there was a window of time that New York gave victims to file charges. Now, we heard about the civil lawsuits that was filed, but we didn't hear exactly if anybody pursued criminal charges. Now, the window for that is now closed, but they had like a year. And I think when Cassie filed her lawsuit, that was like the last week of when people could like file civilly and file charges against people. So much time has passed, but there was a window that opened up for people to file. And that's when we start seeing lawsuits coming in. That's when we started seeing investigations coming in and so much more. So don't think that just because time has passed that he is in the clear. Thank you, Nunu Sky, for reminding everybody to shop my website and go to www.niquelatnight.com. I appreciate you so much because, baby, all the support is appreciated. Okay. Period. Remotely says, we will not sit here and allow them to demonize, discredit, destroy, and dismiss another one of our strong Black leaders in American society. They lied on Jesus Christ. Now they lying on Diddy. I know you lying. Okay. Remotely, I know you lying. What? Remotely, click the link. Click the link. Click the link. I'm not about to play what you talk about. They lied on Jesus. Now they lying on Diddy. Click the link. Cause you playing. You is playing. You are playing. All right. So I had went over the whole Don lawsuit the other day, but what I found interesting when I was going over some of the Don stuff was an interview that she did with Sway. Now, she did an interview with Sway in the Morning 12 years ago, and Sway talked about how scary Diddy could be. He talked about how he how Diddy got so angry at people, and he basically would yell at people and get him scared and get him shook. So I'm going to just play the audio of this, and then we'll go over some of Don's lawsuit in case y'all haven't seen it yet.
On that.
Right, but what's crazy is when you know Puff's reputation, I don't think anything else. It would, if it was someone that wasn't, yeah, I would have understood. But he was definitely someone that had a reputation to be difficult.
Well, let me ask you a question. If I'm gonna keep probably cutting you off, I don't mean to be rude.
Totally,
but,
no.
All right, but work with me. What's the? I've seen Puff spaz out on people. To the point where my heart jumped, like, and I'm a grown ass man. It was like, damn, I'm glad I'm not on the other end of that. What's the worst time you ever seen him spaz out?
Yo, I'm about to air our dirty laundry.
Okay.
So, yo, we were coming to rehearsal in New York. We were doing Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
And Kalina and I didn't know we had rehearsals. And we were asking everybody, yo, when's rehearsals? They didn't know. We get to SIR Studios and Puff on us, he spazzes out on us, like, and he was like, well, y'all don't want it. He always go with the y'all don't want it, the Jedi mind treatment. He makes you believe that you suck all to hell, and then you've been working all hours of the night, and me and him got in a huge.
What did he say to you, like verbatim?
I can't even go into detail. He was like, y'all bitches don't want it. Y'all don't want it. And I was like, Puff, why are you talking so loud? And I've kind of always, been respectful. I've never really went too out of line with Puff. I threw my purse down. I was like, well, you want to go, we can go. There was this chess battle that happened between him and I think everybody's eyes was like, Dawn.
All right. So that was her talking to Sway 12 years ago. And she was talking about how he would go off on them. But more importantly, you hear Sway talk about how he would always hear Puff Daddy go bad on people to the point to where him as a man, he would be like, oh my God, like I'm shook. You know what I mean? So I found that to be very interesting because she later brings that up in her lawsuit as well. But before I pull up her lawsuit and go over anything in her lawsuit, I'm going to pull up Alfila to see what he has to say about it.
How y'all doing? How Niles doing tonight? Hope everybody's doing well. Hey, Nick, I just rushed out the studio just to get in on this. I just wanted to say my interaction with Puff, when I interacted with him, he was always cool. He's a little aggressive, but you got to think, Puffy does a lot of things, from fashion to cologne to beverages to putting people on tour, to being in the studio, to trying to record his own album. You know what I mean? So somewhere down the line, I look at him as the young Berry Gordy, right? Or the new Berry Gordy. He's going to have some flashback from somebody, just like Berry Gordy did. Now, with all these allegations that he's having, they say, where there's smoke, there's fire. I hope it don't end up like the R. Kelly thing and he end up going to jail. I hope this is just something that he can probably just say, we were all consenting adults. I maybe got a little aggressive or went too far. But with this new thing, with him giving, I think he gave some dude or he just got found liable to pay somebody $100 million, some dude that's in jail. I don't know if he got out of jail, but once I heard that, I said, man, it seemed like it's going to the left for him because if all these people are winning these judgments, that means a lot of people in civil court is saying, we agree. And pretty soon...
Well, the reason why the guy in jail got a judgment is only because they just didn't respond to the lawsuit. It was a default judgment because they didn't respond.
I mean, either way, I know if somebody sued me and I got $100 million on the line, I'm going to have my lawyers go. He got 1,000 lawyers. So I don't know what state of mind he's in or his team. I don't know what's going on, but I just think that if you get enough civil, litigations against you, and you start stacking up like guilty verdicts where you're getting judgments against you, it's only a matter of time when it's these type of allegations that it kind of bounces over to the criminal allegations. You know what I mean? It's only a matter of time, and the people.
But did you see the video of him putting the pause on Cassie?
No, I seen that. That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like with this second allegation, I just think that situation. Sometimes, if you know enough people, like I'm sure he do, you know what I mean? And they say he with the A, B, C, D, E, F, G crowd. I'm sure he could pull a few strings. But when different things start popping up, it almost get out of your control. It's like a public matter. Like you like a public nuisance at this point, right? So I think, you got this jury. I think that was out of New York. They heard the criminal complaint, and they seemed to agree and said, hey, whatever was alleged against you, we think you should go to court for it. And then the powers that be said, we're going to arrest you behind that. So, I just think, where there's smoke, there's fire. I'm never one to say, somebody's guilty by the news or public opinion. But I do believe where there's smoke, there's fire. I think Puffy got a long climb ahead of him. I just hear all these people coming out the woodworks now with these Puffy stories. But the flip side of that, I feel like Puffy made a lot of millionaires. He helped a lot of people. I think his arrogance and his aggressiveness came from the nature of the business. Now, all this other stuff.
Wait a minute. I'm gonna let you go ahead, finish. But
I'm just saying, all this other stuff that they say about Puffy behind closed doors, we're gonna wait to be seen, because we heard it from everybody from the West Coast rapper Exhibit to 50 Cent. I mean, it's a common known story that he might be a little aggressive, with the men and the women behind closed doors when it comes to sexual activity. So we're going to all find out, because I'm sure it's going to be revealed and it's going to be public here in a minute. We're going to all know what's being alleged.
Okay, so the only thing I don't agree with a lot of stuff you said, but that's why two people have differences of opinion and everything like that. But you stumped me on the part where you said he made a lot of millionaires.
He did.
Who?
I'd imagine at some point Toto was a millionaire. I imagine at some point Faith Evans was a millionaire. I'd imagine at some point Biggie was a millionaire. I don't know about Craig Mack, because they said he beat him out of a lot of money. But I'd imagine at some point Mace was a millionaire. I'm more than definitely for sure at some point the ones that sung Peaches, what's their name? 112 were millionaires. So he made a lot of millionaires on music. I'm sure he made a lot of people millionaires back in the day when he had that Sean John clothing line. I'm more than positive he made some millionaires who was dealing with him with that Ciroc beverage line. But that's no excuse. You just asked the question, so I answered it. I'm not saying that, relieves him of any liability if he's doing things that he's not supposed to be doing sexually with people. I'm just saying that.
What's the words, feeling?
Oh, okay, excuse me. I said sexually. I can't say sexually.
No, just
my
the words. You said it.
There's allegations, of extra particular activities behind closed doors. That doesn't excuse that. Just like it doesn't excuse R. Kelly, because he's a good singer and he could pack a house, anywhere. It don't excuse you. I'm just saying that I think a lot of times when people talk about how aggressive he was, or, maybe how kind of like he was a little cocky, I think that's the nature of the business, and you're dealing with so much stuff. You don't always have time to, to worry about people's feelings getting hurt, or not so much disrespecting people, but just rubbing people the wrong way, right? But with all that said, we're going to find out in them court transcripts what is being alleged. And I personally feel like where there's smoke, there's fire. And all this chatter I've been hearing about Puffy behind closed doors, I say out of 100%, if 30% of it's true, man, he in for a lot of trouble.
Right. I'm still stuck on the millionaires part, but I hear you. And
he made a lot of millionaires. He did.
He did not. Most of all these people
what he got going on behind closed doors.
Most of the deals were bad deals. Majority of them did not make money. He was making money. Even in Don's lawsuit, she talked about how he was getting paid $50 million. He was getting paid $250 per appearance, and they were getting nothing. That is literally the story for a lot of his artists, to where he's making the money and they're getting R-worded out of deals and not making nothing. Like, they literally, most of them are all broke. They don't have money like that. And the people that did that did like stay above float like Mace, that's because they had other deals outside and were able to like use the leverage of like their association with like other celebrities and stuff like that. But most of the artists are down bad.
Let me clarify my point. And you're right. You're exactly right what you said. He didn't maybe directly make people millionaires and put money in their bank account, but being that he discovered a lot of these people and he made them household names to be able to go on and finesse their name with other products, with other services and things of that nature, they possibly became millionaires. But if you don't have that initial push, if you don't have that initial brand identification, which most of them got from Puffy, right?
But
it was wrong. I think that's what I'm saying when I say he made millionaires. He gave them that brand recognition.
He gave them that brand recognition, but he stopped them from being able to progress. Like he shelved them. Like he gave them recognition, but he's the ultimate person that can co-sign if they do another album, co-sign if they do another deal, and if he blackballs them and kind of squashes them from being able to progress, then they can't do anything else. And that's what a lot of his artists complained about, is the fact that he put them on the shelf, and once he was done with them, they couldn't move forward because they couldn't get out of those deals.
I totally agree. I've been hearing that a lot. I was just speaking from a standpoint of being able just to be lubricated and finesse in the game. He gave them that. Because if you take Puffy out of the equation of most of these people who's making complaints, not saying they wouldn't have found another way to be a star and a better deal, but I'm just saying his name is heavily affiliated with people saying, oh yeah, I heard of him before. That's all I'm saying.
Right. So, what else do you feel about this indictment? They say that it should be unsealed tomorrow.
Well, what I think is going to happen is, think about it like this. People who have no beef to grind with Puffy, I won't say 50 because we know 50's a jokester. He like to clown a lot of people. But take Exhibit from the West Coast, right? Exhibit been talking about every chance he get, how he went into this party and he looked in this room or that room and different things was going on. He didn't really have no dog in the fight. And he down with Snoop. And Snoop loved Puffy. They friends, him and Jay-Z and all them. So he didn't really have no dog in the fight. So when I heard Exhibit say that, I kind of looked at it like, I think it's some truth there, right? So I think a lot of these rumors that we all wondered, it's just people just, you know what I'm saying, trying to throw Puffy under the rug or got some facts. I think a lot of the facts are going to come out if he goes to court and different witnesses start coming in to substantiate the facts. And then if he ultimately be found guilty or not guilty, we can look at it from that perspective too. But I think that once we see what the allegations are, I think that's going to open a lot of people's eyes too. I think it's some things that we probably just going to be like, whoa, wait a minute. You know, I don't think he did that. Did he do that? But it's right there in black and white, the allegation. Not saying it's true, but I think once whatever they arrested him for comes out, I think it's going to make a lot of people look at Puffy different that was kind of holding on to he might not have done some of these things. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think that he, whatever they say he did, he did.
No, don't throw him under the bus so fast, because one thing you got,
whatever they say he did it.
Maybe so, but I always look at things from a financial position too, right? Sometimes, you know, people is better out the way than in the way.
Fila probably got to go out and come back in. I'm not sure what happened and went out, but I feel differently. I feel like a lot of the allegations that they are saying are true. The only person that I was like suspicious of what their allegations was the Lil Rod guy. The Lil Rod guy sounded like, I really didn't know what to make of it, but a lot of the other ones had merit. Like the little girl, or not the little girl, she's a grown woman now, but the girl who was in Detroit, who filed the lawsuit, who had proof that she was underage in his studio and pictures, and she talked about how they ran a train on her. I feel like her lawsuit had merit. Cassie's lawsuit had merit, and I believe Don's lawsuit has merit also. Tommy, hello.
Millie, Nick, I can barely hear you. I don't know what's going on.
Can you hear me now? They said I was yelling a little bit ago. I
I think it's my phone because you're like very low, but I'll just be quick.
Mm-hmm.
So I just think that I understand where Fila is coming from. I understand, but at the same time, we can't just dismiss how he made everyone sign 360 deals, and the only way they can get their catalog back is if they signed an NDA and say nothing negative about him. I mean, that's just a big red flag right there. And I just think that, well, I understand that Diddy is the co-conspirator and he's the main person. I really think that he had enablers, just like R. Kelly had enablers. And I just don't like how it's just him and then he's just the scapegoat and all this, because this was a group effort. Just like R. Kelly, it was a group effort. And I just want to see more people being indicted, more people getting charged, because it's not fair that it's just Diddy, because this is what there a lot of people were involved. They covered it up and they made sure that they tried their hardest to never find out, and they took advantage of it and tried to boost their own career.
I think it was like the president of Bad Boy or whatever his title was, Harv Pierre. He's all through all the lawsuits. So I feel like if Diddy goes down, I think that he will go down too, because he was named in a lot of this stuff and he was said to have been swapping his way around the girls too. So I think
Right.
definitely
But I just hope that we get more information. I really hope it all comes out on Tuesday, see what he's charged with. And I just hope that Diddy goes down for this, because he deserves to go down for this. I truly believe that he's guilty.
Right.
I mean, the Cassie video says it all.
All right, don't hang up, Tommy. Miko Bompton.
Hey, what's going on with it? Hey,
Yeah.
I think Diddy, hey, you know what I'm saying? I think Diddy problem started his son. It was a long time ago. Like his son went to UCLA and got into it with the coaches. And dude went up there, you know, like UCLA, that's a real good school. You can't just he went up there and like beat dude up with some weights. And they just gave him a long time. That was like in 2010. But I knew when he did that, I was like, man, you can't just go to Westwood and beat up no coach. I mean, yeah, you got bread, huh?
They gave who a lot of time?
They gave P. Diddy a lot of time to like keep making that, you know, to make amends for that. But he did, you know, he wasn't getting that money. You know, they was like, well, if you went up to UCLA and beat up the football coach with a weight, we got to give you some time to like, you know, you P. Diddy, you a billionaire, so we gonna give you a time to keep making us that money. But once his money started falling off, then they start searching all these allegations. He went to UCLA and beat up, like that's how untouchable dude thought he was. So once he did that, it was like every year they were just chipping away at him, chipping away at him, chipping away at him. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, UCLA, you can't just go up there. I don't care how them people rich too. That's like Westwood, Beverly Hills. You can't just go up there beating up no coach, you know, because dude got into it with his son. So that was the beginning of them starting to pick at him. Like, dude, you know, they, like I say, when you do something like that, they'll give you a chance to keep making them that money, because he was P. Diddy, he a billionaire, he getting that bread. But once his money started, like, they realized, wait, people ain't really rocking with you like that. Like, yeah, we co-signed with Diddy. He had Biggie, Bad Boy, but we really, after a while, was like, all right, all that, take that, that shit, that really ain't all that's cracking. You know, we went the black vote is like the swing vote. As long as, you know, black folks rocking with you, and then that's gonna make white people say, oh, his music is what's happening. But once they realize, hey, we ain't really with Diddy like that. You know, he have an occasional hit. Yeah, we gonna support, you know, our people, but he wasn't making money like that. And they like, you gotta really keep generating money to be bad enough to go up to UCLA and beat up a football coach.
So you think that the UCLA is spearheading all of these lawsuits?
No, the people that went to, you know, it's people that go there, they got a regents, like it's people, they got, you know, people that's related to other people. No, it ain't the UCLA people. it's governors, lawyers, you know, it's all kind of people. They really sitting up like looking like, let's peep what dude do if he keep getting this money. He really went to our school. It ain't the teachers at UCLA or the principal, whatever they got, the dean. No, it's people in Westwood and Beverly Hills. Like you actually came in our community to the school and beat up the football coach. Let me sit back and see how much money you really generate. And if he would have stayed, if he would have came with another biggie, you know, kept back, you know, they would be like, all right, well, yeah, you do got money like that. You know, you got to be able to afford to do what you do. You feel me? The more money you got, the more stuff you could do. But they start realizing, wait a minute, you really don't own Ciroc.
All of this stuff set in motion with Cassie. So do you think that they put the bug in Cassie's ear? Is that what you're saying?
No, they just they've been ignoring. It was just like R. Kelly. Long as he was getting that money, all the families was like, long as you keep on bringing us that money, we gonna ignore it. They'll drop their daughters off. You know how it is. If you messing with a young girl and her mama see she coming home, nice shoes and eating good, they like, well, we'll look the other way. But you mess with a young girl and send her home and she eating all her mama food out the refrigerator, wearing the same old broke shoes, her mama gonna trip like, what? No, this dude, that's when you statutory raping a girl. If you sending the girl,
Watch the words.
Well, that's when you essaying the girl. When you send her home with thousands in her pocket, her mama gonna kind of be like, well, it is wrong. But Aaliyah and their mama was like, all right, he said you got $10,000 in your pocket, $100,000 in your pocket. Hey, but when you send a girl home broke, now it's a problem. That's a major problem.
Experience with knowing how to send the girls and all that, and the young girls to their mamas and all that.
Yeah, that's been going on. You know what I'm saying? When I was out of high school, 19, 20, you think everybody was doing it. But long as you sent them back home, if they mama or grandmama saw, hey man, he treating this girl good, he, you know, taking her out, he wooty woo, they was cool with that. I mean, whether you was doing something with them physically or not, they was cool with their daughter hanging out. It's always been like that. Like people can act surprised as they want to. It's been like that since the beginning of time. If a grown man was messing with a young girl, he had to be able to afford to do that. You can't be no broke old man. Now you're harassing that girl. If you a broke old dude trying to mess, but dudes with money, R. Kelly, how you think R. Kelly did it? He wasn't messing with Aaliyah broke. He was messing with Aaliyah with $1 million in his pocket and sending her home with some thousands in her pocket. So that made her mom and daddy look the other way.
Marcy, did you want to chime in on what he was saying? Because you could click that link real quick.
Oh no, I have my own theory.
Okay, hold on, Marcy. Black Excellence, did you want to reply to what he said? Because you also clicked that link real quick, or did you have your own?
Yeah, I'm down.
Huh?
I'm down. Oh, am I live? The fuck?
Yeah.
Shit. All right. Yo, I'm gonna say is that black people always gotta get turned into a fall guy. Cause yo, when Hugh Hefner was doing this shit.
Wait, no cursing. I was asking, did you have a reply to Miko?
Wait, what Miko said?
Okay, I'm gonna bring you back up in just a second. Hold on. All right. You can finish up, Miko, and then I'm gonna go to the next person.
Yeah, I was just looking on the comments, like somebody said, Kamora Lee. Man, if whatever you doing, they don't have to do nothing with no man doing nothing to no girl. Whatever you doing, it's just like nowadays, young people, nowadays, a lot of parents, like if you 30 and under, your parents is like, man, this is the baddest it's ever been. No, it's not. Man, in 1985, 1986, it was way worse than it's ever been now. But you know why parents don't say it was worse? Because everybody out there, when it was 1 million brothers on the street, out there on the corners, everybody hanging out, everybody out there had a pocket full of money. So they mama and them did not care. They was like, oh man, whatever they doing, they got a pocket. Now, kids ain't really even that bad, but they ain't getting no money. So they parents like, you the scourge, or you the worst thing? Y'all the worst because ain't nobody getting no money like that. Whatever you doing, if you getting that money, people gonna look the other way. 1988, Los Angeles, Watts, Compton, all that. It was the worst, man. It was the worst. But nobody cared because everybody out there had a pocket full of money. These kids these days.
Don't go nowhere. Stay up. Somebody might want to reply to you. Don't click off, okay?
All
right. Stay up there. Phila, I'm gonna come to you in a second. Quasi?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Just responding to OG who's on here. Uh, Sir, I just really, like, in my heart and soul, do not believe the alumni at whatever college you named is pushing any like agenda to get Diddy down. It's all Diddy. And I'm happy to see it come to fruition. For whatever you're saying about the whole money dynamic and being a creeper. I mean, morals, right? Where are they? I don't necessarily think that money should overcast the fact that there's clearly like an age gap going, a lot of manipulation probably happening, stuff that probably shouldn't be going on anymore. I feel like that's very archaic view. Nowadays, that's pretty much kind of frowned on. Are there different dynamics where women are kind of into that thing? Sure, but I don't think it's happening as frequently as you think it is. But yeah, I definitely think you're living in the past. The alumni at whatever college is not trying to take Diddy down because he beat a coach up. If anything, we're just in a space right now where it's a little bit easier for people to be forthcoming with their truths, and have villages who come around them and put their arms around them and kind of shine the spotlight on these things and having these conversations that need to be had. But yeah, I appreciate you coming up, man. Super entertaining, but man, I do not agree.
Did you want to respond to him, Miko, before we go to the next?
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was you know, in a utopia, in a perfect world. I'm not saying that it is right. That's just how it is. I'm not saying that the people at UCLA are doing. I'm saying that was the start. When you do something like that, people are going to sit back and say, "Do you have the bread to be pulling off stunts like that?" And when they start to see, no, you do not have the bread, they gonna start. Now they gonna start pulling off all the layers. Okay, you was messing with this. Now they knew he was messing with Cassie. They knew he had something to do with Tupac and Biggie and all that back then, but he had the money to cover. They were like, "Who cares? You got it's okay." It's just like say a lot of women when if they do telling them, "Hey, I went to the studio today. I was in the studio." They like, "Man, but you ain't." But let him come home with a pocket full of money and say he in the studio. They be like, "All right, cool. You obviously was doing something. You came home with that bread." But if you just saying I was in the studio and coming home broke, they gonna look like, man, what they gonna start making memes like, what kind of studio you ain't coming home with no money. So yeah, in the utopia, what that caller just said, they were very eloquently and spoken. I'm not saying that is right. I'm not. That's just the way it is. I don't agree with it. That's just the way that it is. You feel me?
All
So
right.
that was just the start of his problems.
All right. So thank you, Miko.
Can I do a quick rebuttal real quick?
Go ahead.
Just real quick, I just don't understand why they would sue somebody on a fall off. Like, what coin do you think you're gonna get at that point if the checks stop coming in? But that's all I want to say, and then I'm gone. Y'all have a great night. Thank you for the
Yeah, the
debate.
check stopped coming in because he stopped producing talent like that. They thought he was some kind of like man, this P Diddy, everything he touched turns to gold. We was rock. He had Biggie, he had Faith Evans. It was like,
wait, before you go on a tangent, we got a lot of people coming up. I just wanted y'all to respond real quick and then go to the next one. But stay on. Don't click off. Don't click off. Phila, before I pull up anybody else, did you want to add something?
Yeah, I just want to clarify something. What the brother is saying is like he ain't trying to justify no pedophiles or nothing like that.
Phila,
excuse my language. He ain't trying to justify doing illegal things, right? But what he's saying is he kept using the word money. Today, you will replace that word with influence. Puffy has lost his influence. And when he was talking about the incident that happened up in Westwood, up at UCLA, that was kind of like the first chink in his armor of he kind of made the powers that be kind of look at him like, oh, he trying to buck up against us? Like, like the real heavyweights, and they let it slide. You know, because he has to rock. He had a lot of good things going on. He was just comparing it to back in, you know, the earlier days. It was money. It wasn't influence. It wasn't the internet. It was cash. And if you had cash, if you had money, a lot of things could get swept under the rug. Now, I understand what the other lady was saying when she called him creepy, because she probably was taking it personal, like he was saying that he did that. He was just giving you an observation from how it used to be. And it's kind of like the same thing
Well,
going
no, he did say that's how he got down to.
I mean, but
When
he
he was
never,
younger.
but you know what he never specified? If he was saying he was 21 and she was 20, I wouldn't automatically assume he was messing with a 15, 16-year-old. You get what I'm saying? I got the point he was making, though. Today, if you lose influence and people look at you as somebody expendable, and like I said earlier, you better go on, you know, you better off out the way than in the way, you're going to pretty much be out of there, because all the people who would normally be behind the scenes kind of extinguishing some of your fires, they're not doing that no more, because it's not beneficial to them. And they got other people telling him, you know, them, nah, man, we're not riding with your guy no more. You know what I'm saying? He got this going on, that going on. I don't want to be a part of that. And you kind of just lose your influence and things start slowly tumbling downhill for you. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Thank you, Fila. Don't go nowhere. I'm gonna pull some other people up real quick. Let me go to Marcy. Hello.
Hi.
Hey.
Okay, so I was thinking the timeline to Diddy's downfall is when he sued those billionaire liquor people. It had nothing to do with no UCLA, none of that stuff, because the guy, the football coach at UCLA, wasn't he kind of going after his son? And Diddy had to kind of put him in his place because he was, well, he had justification for doing what he did to the football coach. But when he sued those billionaires in the liquor company and he won, I think that's when the downfall of Diddy started.
You said
You
he
don't,
won? I don't remember him winning.
he didn't win?
I don't remember him winning.
I think he won that case. If
Let me
I'm not
I don't
mistaken,
remember
I
him
think,
winning.
and from there, it's kind of like Bill Cosby when he tried to buy the network, boom, all those charges came. And just like Diddy, he sued the wrong people, and boom, all these charges started. That's what I think. Thank you.
Thank you. Let me look it up. It says they settled, but it didn't say like
Settled. He
yeah, it says that
won.
they settled, but it doesn't I mean the settlement was basically they removed him off of everything. Like they got rid of him off of the company, but hold on.
But he was claiming racism and
Blip, blip, blip.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, he was claiming racism and he was, all these allegations he said that they were doing. And he said all that in the public, embarrassed those billionaires, and boom, the downfall of Diddy started. And everybody keeps saying Jay-Z is next. What the heck did Jay-Z do? What did
Oh, okay.
Jay-Z?
I thought you was about to say some more words. Okay.
No,
Go
no, no,
ahead.
no, no, no. What did Jay-Z do that is equivalent to Diddy? I've never really heard. I don't know. Well, thank you so much.
All right. If you want to stay on, you can. Amir.
Yes. Hey, look, in your stream, I just noticed some when them old heads were talking. You know, a lot of them guys from that generation, they try to justify that. I'm not gonna use that word, but they try to reason with it and normalize it. Diddy wrong, man. Diddy got everything he deserved coming. You know, and it's the day we've been waiting on for a minute. So for all you old guys trying to justify that, you're next, man. Cat Williams said it best. 2024 is the year of when the truth will be revealed. And a lot of you A lot of you motherfuckers going down this year, man. So
All right,
y'all,
don't go nowhere. Let them respond. Go ahead. We'll talk to them directly.
yeah, man. I said what I said. What y'all got a rebuttal for that? Cause
Yeah, I
y'all,
got a rebuttal. Let me say this. I think first and foremost, man, we can all communicate, and we as a people and as a culture, we always start off by offending one another, man. And sometimes it's like we listen to respond instead of listening to hear. Now, I can't speak for that brother, but I know me personally, when I came on to clarify what I think his point was, I never said I agree with none of that. I never said that that was cool, none of that. All I said was back in the day, the point with money, I said you can equate that today to influence. And when you lose your influence, different things happen. So if you think by any means that I was saying that was cool or I partaking that, I ain't never ever partaking
but
that. I don't believe in that, and I would never ever agree with nothing like that, bro. So just to clarify that part.
said you did that because you definitely didn't say that. But the other guy definitely was trying to justify. He spent his whole majority of his time emphasizing what you call influence of having money and fame and all that, and being able to bribe the parents to make that okay, man. That to even think that, it's just weird to me. To even have that thought, like to me, it sounds like you justifying it. And I mean, that's a different generation. Back then, they was getting away with it, but now they paying for it. If you notice, a lot of
Yeah,
them.
me personally, bro, I never been a part of that. I never even been around people that was about that, because I think when that era, what he was speaking was like, I don't know if we can say this on the internet, but we all know what the 80s was about, and everybody making money and having all that money. I wasn't around in that era. I was a kid, like a kid, like 5. So I wouldn't know nothing about that. But I was just clarifying the point of when a person was talking about money a lot, it would be equivalent to influence today. But as far as what you talking about, because I hear you loud and clear, I just don't want to say nothing that'll cause this to not be aired or whatever. But I ain't with none of that, bro. Let's clarify that on my behalf. You feel me?
And maybe,
right. Nico, did you want to respond to what he said?
Yeah, I don't, like I say, I don't know, why he's throwing darts. Like, I'm just saying that's how it is. Epstein, all these people that's going on now, that's been recently. That's still going on now. If people, and Fela made a good point. I am using the wrong words now because it is influence. You don't really have to have you can have some crypto dollars, internet influence, and what Fela said was correct. But that's just the way it is. If people don't get it, it's people on the internet now who will leave their kids. I seen like a young girl leave her kid just like in the store somewhere and like leave them off. It's people killing their kids. If a person will kill their kids every day, it's a YouTube, a video about some mothers killing their kids. If they'll kill their kids, you don't think that they would let someone violate their kids with an age discrepancy? People out here killing their kids. So I'm not justifying nothing. I'm just saying that's what's going on. And if I'm making any of your viewers think that I agree with it, I'm co-signing, I'm just saying that's what goes on. People do hurt children. So if people will murder their child, don't you think that they will? If the people who the guy who robbed what was PNB Rock, what was his name at Roscoe's, if he'll take his son, instead of showing his son how to work hard and have good values, if he'll take his son to go rap and kill a great young rapper coming up, what make you think people won't what make you? I mean, that's just like I say, I'm not agreeing with it or anything. I'm not saying it's right. That's just how it is.
I'm trying to figure out what it got to do with Diddy case. I see if we talking about R. Kelly, with allegations that the parents was taking money with Aaliyah and all that, but Diddy, man, all his victims, man, their parents wasn't involved in it. So I'm trying to figure out where you get that angle from.
No, I'm saying the parallel I'm trying to say is that's just saying that example of doing wrong. There's other things to do wrong than just that. What Fela said, I'm using money, but if you have influence and money, you could do other things wrong, not just the things I'm saying about. I was just making that example of how R. Kelly, his vice was young girls. Okay, Diddy's vice is beating up girls and being disrespectful to people, and Cassie will look the other way for a while because she like, dude got this money, you know, I can hang in there a little bit. She wouldn't take that if he didn't have the influence of money. Her brothers or daddy now would have been socked dude out, but it was like, nah, well, he got this money. Back in the day, okay, I hate to be an old head and say back in the day, but back in the day, it used to be a lot of domestic violence, like between mothers and like parents. And grandparents would be like, man, we don't get into that. You married, dude, that's on you. He take care of you in his house. You know, it was just, but that still goes on today. So that's it's more wrongs than just being offensive to women. That's a real bad ultimate wrong to disrespect a young girl. But the things that Diddy was doing wrong, he got away with it, like Felix said, because of his influence and power. Maybe it wasn't with underage girls.
Because other people do want to get into. Amir, respond, and then we're going to go to the next person.
Okay, well, that was my response, man. Y'all have a good night. I appreciate you for allowing me to come up and speak.
Okay, dang, the next person they clicked off. So what I was trying to get to. All right. So let me bring y'all down really quickly. Is there anybody else? We about to wrap up. Is there anybody else who wanted to come up and speak? Because we about to be out. I don't want this to be super, super lengthy, but I do want to go to Don's lawsuit before we close out. And there was a part where she talked about the Diddy parties. Okay. So she talked about the Diddy parties and what would go on. So I do want to read like a couple of lines from that, and then we'll be out. Let me see what if there's anybody else. Skater Lover says that your device is not connected, so you got to turn your device on, come out, come back in. Let me pull up her lawsuit real quickly, and then we will be out shortly thereafter. So this is her lawsuit. Let me go down. I think right here they talk about the Diddy parties. Hold on 1 second. All right, so right here it says, on many occasions, Mr. Combs had parties at his Miami, Florida at his Miami, Florida residence that lasted for several days. At one of the parties, Miss Richard witnessed Diddy openly stating that he had arranged for busloads of young exotic girls such as mixed Black and Asian, Indonesian, and albino. Once again, Miss Richard observed inebriated young girls being hanky-panky violated by Mr. Combs and his guests. In a state of panic and terror, Miss Richard fled to the bedroom Mr. Combs had insisted she stay in and barricaded the door with furniture. It says, then it talks about him punching Cassie. There was another part of this where she mentioned Diddy parties as well. So this, I think this part right here, it says, hold on, let me find it. It was another Diddy party that she talked about. And then we're going to get on out of here. Hold on, it was after making the band. Was it after this part? Okay, she talks about Cassie, talks about that. She even talks about how Diddy and his people like ran a train on his assistant. Let me see. She said he criticized her for being too skinny. They had to work nonstop. She continued to see him beat on Cassie. He had uncontrollable anger. She said that he would always talk about like how he would unalive her. She talked about how she was never compensated for appearances. Right here it says Miss Richard was never compensated for the extra time she spent fulfilling Diddy's promotional contracts, including the Ciroc and the Diddy Beats campaign. Diddy was paid approximately $250,000 per Ciroc appearance. Diddy did not compensate Miss Richard or Miss Harper for these appearances these appearances other than just 5K each on a handful of occasions. Diddy's ongoing explanation for withholding compensation was that their appearances were a requirement for their tour. Additionally, Don was required to appear and to promote Diddy Beats through parties, albums, songs, and videos. Over time, Diddy was paid $6.2 million for 25 Ciroc shows that Don was required to attend. Following each show, Don and Kalina, they asked him about, their insufficient funds and sporadic payments, and he routinely responded with statements such as, "You bees aren't grateful and you don't want this." Miss Richard estimates losses from the Ciroc campaign promotions totaling at least 1.5 million. So she talks about that, and then she also talks about how he would just have meetings and she would have to see him in his underwear. She talks about how he would touch her on her boobies and her butt. She talked about so right here she talks about him like touching her on her booty and stuff. And then I think there was another okay, so this part right here is where she talked about him running a train on his assistant. So if you see right there at 92, it says, on their last night in Glasgow, Don witnessed Diddy and several other males gang banging Mr. Combs' female assistant at a hotel pool. Miss Richard immediately left and went to her hotel room. She said on the next day, she asked where his assistant was. She said that he left his assistant in the UK without a passport, left her stranded, and so much more. I did a full live video going over all of this stuff that was in this document, and it just was crazy. It was a whole lot of in this document. It was like 55 pages of her detailing all of the things that she went through. So I just wanted to show y'all that real quick before we officially got out. Again, I don't want to make this a lengthy live. So I am definitely about to get out of here. Sharon, I'll let you close out and say something, and then we'll be out. Thank you, Alfila. Thank you, Miko. We are going to dip. Sharon, are you there?
Yes, yes. Can you
Yeah.
hear me?
What did you want to say?
Okay.
Yes.
I just wanted to piggyback on the first guy, because I'm from that era. And he's right. Back then there wasn't a big issue about age and stuff. And I contributed to, going back, to back in slavery and all that, when, they was able to just, get with whoever, whichever age. So, and one guy had said about, oh, I lost my thought. But anyway, I take it back to that. But back then, age was not a big issue. And not saying that it was right, but it wasn't. And it was like long as they took care of them and all that stuff. And somebody had brought up how, back in the day when folks got married and it would be abuse or whatever, and the mother of that person would be like, that's your husband, just stay in it, and they would stay out of it. So it has been a pattern. But, nowadays, thank God, they're looking more into that and, trying to bring about an end to it. But as far as Diddy, I believe there's some truth that he stepped on the wrong toes, and that's mainly why they're, bringing all of his issues out. If he wouldn't have stepped on the wrong toes, it might have wouldn't be like this. But not saying, I'm glad, it's coming out, but I believe that's what happened. He just, stepped on some big, powerful toes, and, they want to put it into it. And I think also that the reason, folks is really, starting to take heed of what happened and make him accountable is because also it's starting to bring other people to the forefront that's doing that. and they don't want it to go deep within that industry. So I think that's another reason why they like, let's, go ahead and arrest him and make him accountable to stop the domino effect from, making other folks accountable that is much bigger than him.
All right. Thank you, Sharon.
You're welcome.
All right. She took it all the way back to slavery, child. There has been a lot of interesting takes. I'm gonna just tell you what I think. I think that they have been building this case on him for some time. I think that once Cassie came forward, that gave them the push that they needed to seal the deal. I think that throughout his career, obviously there has been a lot of things that there has been rumored to have happened with Diddy, but they never had solid info that they can really nail him down on. And I think that once that window opened up for people to start filing crimes and Cassie start talking about her stuff and all of those things are the things, I think that he's going down. And they've been looking at him for quite some time. And I think all of the things that he didn't get arrested for back in the day that he got away with, karma is going to spin the block. And I think that whatever they say he did, I think that he did it. I do not think that just because you have money and influence, that gives you the authority to take advantage of people. This is not somebody who he did well by anybody at any measure. Everybody surrounding him, all of the people that he had on his label are broke for the most part. And all of them have all of these stories about how they got shelved, how all of these things happen. And I think that he is finally going to answer to it. And it is what it is. I don't follow the theory of like, I don't know. I just think whatever they say he did it. And that's just that on that. Thank y'all for tuning in. I'll see y'all on the next video. And y'all let me know what y'all think down below. And I'll talk to y'all on the next video. Thank you, Jay Mazak, again for the compliments. And make sure y'all hit the like button as well. And make sure y'all go to my website, www.niquelatnight.com as well. Now, I don't know if y'all know, but I got other stuff on my website other than adult goodies. I got press-on nails on my website. I got different accessories on my website. And, purses, earrings, necklaces, all of these things are the things on my website. So definitely go to my website, www.niquelatnight.com. Support your girl. Shop with me. And I'll catch y'all on the next video.